So do you stress about paying off your debt? Do you stress out about your debts? Do you stress out about your personal loans, your credit cards, your car loan? Are you a couple months behind on your vehicle loan, or are you in the middle of paying off your loans? Well, whatever your situation is, these are methods that can help you out. The first two you've heard about. The last one is something that I've utilized by compiling different aspects of the first two, actually the second one, and then also by using my own methods and my own thoughts to make sure that the debt is paid off faster and to the way that I like it. Hi, my name is Greg. I talk about personal finances and on my channel, and I try to help people out in the ways that I can, because I've been through it. I know about the stresses. I know about how it feels when you have to borrow money from a family member, or you have to come up with money, or maybe not make a payment at all. It's happened to me where I've had to not make a mortgage payment. I've come short. So I've been where you're at. I just want to be able to help you out in whatever situation you're in your debt process. This channel is all about learning and growing and learning about new concepts with money. I want you to be able to win with money. I've won with money. I know the processes, very educated on this. I've spent 15 years of my life learning about business and business methods, so as well as processes. So let's dive into the different types of debt method payoffs. So the first one you may have heard of, but the first one is called the avalanche method. And this is the method where you take your highest interest rate, whether that's a credit card, or your car loan or your personal loan, or let's say, you owe a family member some amount of money. So they categorize your payoff. So you basically put your highest interest on the list first. So let me just say these are methods to pay off your loans sequentially, as well as it's been tested, tried and true, that these are the quickest methods. So what are three of the reasons why you might want to use the avalanche payoff method? Well, the three reasons why would be you like math and numbers. You do calculations all day, and numbers is your game. That's what you love. That's what you want to do. So as well, the second characteristic of somebody that likes the avalanche method would be if you have a high interest credit card that you have been paying on for a while, but you want to knock it off the list. This can, and anybody that's, I use a doctor, for example. Like, doctors have a lot of delayed gratification when it comes to years and years in school. So they have a large payoff at the end. So this is the type of method you could use for people that like the delayed gratification, and then they can surely just make it happen at the end. But they go through a lot of sacrifice and a lot of high balance loans in order to do so. So I want to give you 4 examples of scenarios to where the avalanche method takes place, and I want to put them in order for you. So I'll go ahead and show on my screen that you can see we have a $8,000 credit card with an interest rate of 23%. You have a payment on this of $233. So the next item that you have is a personal loan for $3,000. The interest rate on your personal loan is 12%, and your payment per month on this is $100. So the next loan is a vehicle loan at $9,000, and the interest rate for that is 9%, and the payment per month on this is $454. Now keep in mind, these are just calculations that I've done, taking an average of the types of payments that you would have on these types of interest, because these loans can go for a longer or a shorter term, which increases or lowers your payment per month. I took the average of a general length of loan to get these numbers. Your fourth one, I just kind of threw this one in here for fun. Let's say you owe your brother $250 because he had paid for a taxi cab ride when you were stranded that one time out of town. So you traveled for 3 hours and you got out of there. So let's say that you owe him $250. He hasn't forgotten it yet. You still owe it to him, but you haven't made any payments to him yet. So let's say we want to add this to the list. That's one of your debts, and you want to make sure that when you hang out with your brother that you actually can see eye to eye and that you don't owe him any money. So let's put that on the list as well. If you have any of that those debts, think about paying those off. So okay, so as far as the avalanche method goes, you have number one listed is a credit card at $233 a month, but the interest rate is 23%, and this is the largest interest rate that you have for a loan. So the avalanche is saying, okay, let's pay off your highest one at 23%. Okay, so you pay that off. Your next one would be a 12% loan, which is your personal loan. Your third one is going to be a 9% vehicle loan. And going down towards the end is a 0% interest rate to your brother. He hasn't charged you interest, but he wants his money. So this is the method that takes math into accountability, and when you pay it off, you're sequentially paying off the percentage rates. Depending on the percentage rates that the interest rates that how high they are, this could be a benefit to you. The next method is going to be more of a psychological method, where this was more of a math-based method. So the second method is your snowball method. The snowball method is for people that enjoy instant gratification. Let's say you're the kind of person that likes to go through the drive-thru and you eat your food in the parking lot before you get home. This method may be for you. So if you like to take small wins, this method is for you as well. If you're more psychological based and you like to see results, and you like to see the results faster, then this may be your method to use. I will say this is the method that I used when I was getting out of debt. So the snowball method, when you take your credit card, your personal loan, your vehicle loan, and the money you owe your brother, the snowball method says you're going to start paying your brother off first, because that's $250. That's your lowest balance method. You take your lowest balance and you pay that off. So your payment, you don't make payments to your brother, so you're not going to be able to pile that on to the next step. But let's say you pay that $250 off. It makes you feel good. You can, have Christmas with your brother now. So the second step would be to pay off your personal loan, because your personal loan is at $3,000. So it's the second to the lowest balance loan that you have. So that's going to be, it's going to free up $100 a month. So, and like I say, these are averages for payments. So it could be longer or shorter, but this is the average. So once you pay off your personal loan of $3,000, you take all the extra money you possibly can out of your budget and you put it towards this. So, and this is one method to do it, is a snowball. It's one of the better methods. It's one of the more talked about methods. It's a psychological win in almost everybody's case. So you get that $100 and then you've paid that off. So what's the next one? But you have your credit card at $8,000. Once you free that up, you have $233, and you include your $100, so you have $333. But you also have all the money you can possibly muster out of your budget, and you put it towards these debts to pay them off faster. You don't just pay minimum payments. You pay minimum payments on everything except for the one that you're attacking. So that first one you're attacking, put everything towards it. The second one, put everything you possibly can towards it. And this is the method to pay off credit cards and your debt faster. So this is why I say you don't need to stress about this. Because once you have a method and once you have a plan, it becomes clear. Because where does stress come from? The uncertainty of what's going to happen in the future. like let's say moving from one apartment to the other. So if you want to have less stress, make a plan. Find out when you're going to pay it off. Maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. Sometimes it's quite a few years out, but really attack these debts and really knock them down. So the fourth one, according to the snowball method, would be your vehicle loan at $9,000. So you're going to take your $100 and then your $233, and you're going to put that onto the vehicle loan, and then you're going to pay that off. So this is the method that you can gain extra money each step of the way, and that's why it's called a snowball, because they start off really tiny. It rolls down the hill, it gets larger and larger and larger and larger. So you can attack that last loan. The last loan is going to be your toughest one. Second to last loan is also going to be a tough one. So you've thought about the first one and the second one, and you choose one of those methods and you pay off your loans. Well, that's all good and fine, but let me tell you what I've done, and let me tell you what's worked for me. So this is actually a method that take for instance that you have like concrete and you're trying to break it because you want to build a new slab in your backyard. Are you going to use like a small hammer for that to break it up? Are you going to want to use something a little larger? So anything like a sledgehammer might be the thing you want to use, because it's going to make the most impact. It's going to make the most cracks in the foundation of the slab, and you're going to be able to pull that out a little bit easier than you would be, and a lot faster than you would be the small hammer if you're just chipping away at it all day. So my method actually gives you that sledgehammer at the end of your process to knock out that last debt, which is one of the most nastiest, longest payments you could possibly make. So, and I'm not counting your house in this to pay off your house debt. These are just unsecured or your vehicle loan, personal loan type items. So take for instance, you have the same examples, which is your credit card, your personal loan, you have your vehicle loan, and then you also owe your brother. So I would go with the first one, which is owe your brother. So you pay that off. It's $250. You follow the snowball method at first. I want the psychological wins, so that's the method that I've used. And you pay $250 towards your first loan. However you can get that up. Hopefully it can be in a month, or two. You can just drop $250 and drive it over to your brother. Say, hey, we're even. Let's go have some Christmas. Have a nice Christmas. So the second one I would say is pay off your personal loan, because that's the second smallest, which is $3,000. So get those two out of the way, get a little bit of money up, so you have $100 on top of all the money you can muster to be able to pay off your loans. And then at that point, you have a decision to make. Every step of the way, I want you to think about what's the best decision to paying off your debt. So right now, you have an $8,000 credit card, and then you have a $9,000 vehicle loan. So this vehicle loan has been going on for years and years. So it's been going on for 6 years already, but you're down to your last couple years of payments because it's down to $9,000, let's say. And the starting price was at like $30,000, for example. Your payments on your truck are $454, and the payments on the credit card are $233. So out of these two, and you're looking at just the balances and the ability to pay that off in a certain amount of time, which would be the fastest way, would you rather pay off the vehicle loan or would you rather pay off the credit card? Personally, I would like to have the $454 to go and put towards the credit card, and I'll pay the truck off, or I'll pay the car or truck or your Geo Metro off a lot faster than you will pay your credit card off, because there's more principal going towards it. Also, it's a lower interest rate, to keep that in mind. But we're not looking at the avalanche, or we're not looking at the, snowball method at this point. We're looking at the maximum return that we can get off of the payment so that we can put it on the principal of the next item, so we can really take care of that and get it to go away. So I think this is the best method once you reevaluate each step of the way to find out how much money you can possibly gather from the previous debt payoff in order to put towards the next one. So I've chosen to go with the vehicle payoff method, and that is been successful for me. I think it's a method that you could look at and you could examine and try it in your budget once you get to that point. Maybe you are at that point right now. But just keep in mind, if you stress and you struggle with debt, keep in mind these three processes. The first two, choose depending on what kind of personality you have. And the last one, I would say, reevaluate each step of the way. And it's also good to celebrate your wins. So when you do pay off 1 or 2 or 3 of the loans, let's say you're on your last loan, why don't you give yourself a little vacation, a little success, a party or something, so that you can feel good about the next step of the way. The only thing I should caution you on is that life happens, and I guess you call it Murphy's Law, where something goes out, your AC unit or something. This is where you may need to have like insurance on your items so that you don't go further into debt. And that's something else I can talk about is, a little bit about some of the insurances. I can't really get into it. I'm not an insurance agent, but I feel like, you should have insurance on certain items. And that's typical that people have so that you don't go further into debt. So you have a smaller payment, but you have an ongoing payment. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you found this helpful, I want you to hit the subscribe button at the end, and I can provide more information like this. I really think about the methods that I produce, and I want to be able to help everybody with money and think about it in a different way, not just the standard way. I don't just Google these methods. This is something that I've dealt with in my life. I've been through the stress, and I hope everybody can learn. So until next time.